Yo, what's going on, guys? I hope you're all having a great day today because today we're going to be going ahead and taking a look at some good old-fashioned damage control. Now, the damage control we're going to be taking a look at today actually comes from a Redditor. And you might be asking, what the hell is the Redditor you're taking a look at today damage controlling? And the answer to that question is $80 video games. Yes, we have a Redditor defending $80 video games. And Redditors wonder why they get such a terrible reputation. I mean, I don't know one group of people on the internet that doesn't try to shit on Redditors. Now, obviously, this discussion sprung up because of the price increase that Nintendo started with Mario Kart World that Microsoft then jumped on board with their price increase to $80 on some of their video games. And I guarantee if you give it a maximum of 2 months, Sony is going to be out here in full force with their price increase to $80 too. Hell, maybe they'll take the extra greedy pill and go up to $90, who knows, man. It's modern gaming after all. But I don't want to waste any more time on the intro, I just want to go ahead and get straight into the post we're going to be talking about today. So the post we're going to go over today comes from r/CMV, or r/ChangeMyView. This subreddit is basically where someone goes to basically post just the most brain-dead take of all time that they think is correct but they know is going to be unpopular. This subreddit honestly makes me think realization is transmissible. CMV. $80 for AAA video games is a reasonable price. Yeah, maybe if you've been hitting the pipe a little bit too much. $80 is in no way reasonable for a video game. Hell, I don't even think $70 is reasonable for a video game. I think 60 was the sweet spot, and maybe that's why games stayed at $60 for so long. As a kid, I remember $60 just being the standard basically forever. Up until I became an adult, and that's when it went to 70. Which wasn't even too long ago, mind you, and now we're already up to 80. I think the standards we have for video game prices are becoming unreasonable. The lashback, I think he means backlash, I don't know, for selling games above $60 or $70 seems spoiled, especially compared to similar hobbies. I mean, what hobbies are really comparable to video games? I would honestly have to Google search that, so let's go ahead and do that. I searched up hobbies to replace video games, and here is what I got. We got sports, language learning, 3D modeling, cooking, martial arts, graphic design, reading, music, animation, game development, writing, learning to code, volunteering, photography, coding, gardening, blogging, outdoor recreation, casino games, board games, drawing, hiking, creating a YouTube channel, art, dance, or music lessons. I can point out hobbies on this list that are literally fucking free. Whereas with gaming, you gotta buy like a $500 console, a membership for like $70, and then a video game. Or alternatively, you could pick out some PC parts and build a PC, / get a pre-built, but it's all expensive, right? Especially if you want to play AAA games, which is what this person is talking about. Modern AAA games on PC are unoptimized as fuck. You can get into music by simply booting up YouTube or SoundCloud and, listening to it for free. Reading is cheap as hell. A book is like, what, $10? Outdoor recreation, you can play with your friends outside for free. Martial arts I used to do, I paid like $60 a month for a membership. Sports can be cheap depending on the sport. All you need is a soccer ball and to go to your local park. Or a football, whatever you want to call it. Starting a YouTube channel, that's literally free. The only things that are actually super expensive is probably like 3D modeling, and coding might be expensive because you might need a good PC. One framework I'm using for comparison here is the hours per dollar metric. While I don't have stats on this, most AAA games that I buy take 20 to 30 hours to complete the main campaign, and about as much time until I personally get tired of side quests and completing it. Over the years, I've returned to many of these games again and again, increasing the time I was able to enjoy these. Oh fucking great, the hours per dollar metric, or dollars per hour, or whatever the fuck. I hate this metric so much. I could make a whole video just ranting about how much I hate this mindset, and personally I think it's part of what is destroying modern gaming. Developers see these idiots on the internet talking about this dollars per hour shit, and the first thing they think is, oh, okay, they want X amount of content for X amount of dollars. Let's add as much bloat to these games as we can and make an unnecessarily big world with tons of collectathons. Ubisoft is one of the worst offenders of this. If you ever see somebody making the dollars per hour argument, please link them this video, or just tell them outright that this is a terrible, terrible mindset to have and it's destroying the video game industry. At least the AAA one. You then claim that you can replay these games, which makes them worth more money apparently, but most people don't replay video games. It's only people who are super into a game that will ever actually replay it. And I know this because you can easily take a look at the completion rate for video games. Most games don't even have a 50% completion rate. Most people aren't only not replaying games, but they're not finishing the ones they do play. In the worst cases, I spend about 30 hours in a $60 game, thus spending $2 for every hour. Why are we not talking about the quality of all those hours spent? Why are we only talking about the quantity of them? A 60-hour game means nothing if all 60 hours are miserable sludge. In most games I rack up about 60 hours, spending $1 for every hour. Some games I spend hundreds of hours in. I've spent 360 hours on Monster Hunter World only on PC. And if I had bought that game new, I would have now had spent 17 cents an hour. What other gaming hobbies do these stats compare to? A big board game will cost me twice as much, and getting a similar amount of playtime from it is difficult, not if you have a lot of friends. My Warhammer armies lie in a box collecting dust, and I don't want to know how much I've spent on that. A very different hobby. Bouldering. I spent about £3, I don't know what currency that is, dude. An hour for. Excluding shoes and other necessary equipment. Going on a 2 to 3 hour film will cost me at least $12, so in the best case I'm spending $4 per hour. I like how you bring up that you can replay games years down the road, but you don't bring up that you can rewatch movies. Most people are not rewatching movies and replaying games. Most people experience something once and then they're on to the next thing. So let's not use these retarded arguments. Also, a lot of AAA games just aren't replayable anymore, if we're gonna be honest. They're just so full of bloat that they're just not fun to replay. Whereas indie games, which are cheaper for the most part, are a lot more replayable. So that just makes AAA games at $80 even less worth it. I'm not saying these prices are not worth it. I am happy to spend extra money on a well-produced board game that allows me to share an experience with others. I'm happy to spend extra money to climb every month, but from an entertainment value perspective, video games are insanely well priced. The only thing that comes close is LSD. But well, that comes with unintended side effects. You mean like making posts like this? But here's the thing. We used to get games of higher quality that offered more value years ago for less money, and now we're paying more money and getting less valuable products. Let's compare it to video games of the past instead of other hobbies. To add to my point comparing video games prices historically, we've been eating good. For example, Castlevania, released in 1986, costed $44.95. Oh, how lucky we were. But wait, correcting for inflation, that's $130.86. Imagine charging that price nowadays for a game that takes about 10 hours to complete. The people would go out, torch the studios down to the ground. From a quick Google search, I wasn't alive at the time, so feel free to correct me. Okay, but what was life like back in 1986? Let's take a look. I live in Canada, so I'm going to use Canadian statistics, fucking sue me. In 1980, a median home price was about 50 grand. If you adjust that for inflation to 2020 dollars, it's about 150 grand, which is a 30% increase from 1970. In 2020, a median home price unadjusted for inflation is about 340 grand. A median home price inflation adjusted to 2020 dollars is obviously 340 grand again, with an average growth of 198.3% since 1970. Now, do you think wages have increased that much? No. People are poorer than they've ever been. So our money means a lot more to us, and we want a game that is actually worth a fuck. Think about what you're justifying now. More expensive games than ever, in an economy where people are poorer than ever, that are lower quality than those back in 1980. Come the fuck on, man. So do I want developers to increase prices on video games until we can't afford them anymore? No, of course not. But when looking at video game prices, I think we have to choose our battles wisely. A much larger issue, at least for me personally, is the microtransaction bullshit and other extra purchases bullshit that's getting worse by the year. Yeah, and that's only made even worse when the base game is $80 and then you have microtransactions on top of it, you donut. I buy the new Monster Hunter game but have to spend $8 to edit my character after the initial creation, and spend $1,000 on a new GPU for it not to run like shit. A tool that's literally already in the game and costs them no extra money to develop. I probably don't have to get into why microtransactions, at least the ones that unlock new gameplay options, are detrimental to gaming. While I'm not naive in believing that increasing game prices will magically alleviate these issues, I think if we want to pressure developers to do this, we have to give them some wiggle room to still make money. Which is ironic because the price increase to $70 led to less revenue for the industry. I'd rather spend $80 on a game that I get all the content for it advertises than spend $40 on a game where I have to spend $5 a month to keep up with the content. I mean, this is a great way of exposing that you only play AAA slop that's always online. TLDR, I think even with a price of $80 for a AAA video game, a well-produced one will provide more entertainment per dollar than most other hobbies offer. TLDR, this guy licks boots. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. And I apologize for the tired voice, man. Like, I just got off a full shift, and like, bro, I'm so fucking tired. I'm gonna hop off and go to bed. Alright, hope y'all enjoyed this shit. I'm out.